The Office of Unclaimed Funds and the Office of the State Comptroller is pleased to present this video on when to report time deposit accounts. In this video, we will be discussing time deposit accounts such as certificates of deposits or CDs. CDs can be held in a tax-deferred account such as an IRA, College Savings 529 account, Education IRA, or a regular customer account. These tax-deferred accounts can be complex. Therefore, the examples in this video will focus on CD accounts with specific terms. These accounts are covered under Article 3 of the New York State Abandoned Property Law covering banking organizations. Time deposit accounts become reportable to the New York State Office of Unclaimed Funds if the depositor or customer is a resident of New York State and the dormancy period has been met. What is the dormancy period? The dormancy period for a time deposit account begins on the maturity date and ends after 3 years. Only customer-generated activity may update the dormancy date. Some other helpful information about these accounts include: banking organizations may choose to break the term of these accounts on their own to a sheet at the dormancy date at no cost to the account owner, but New York State only requires the term to be broken if the account is past due based on the dormancy date. For individual retirement accounts, check the mandatory distribution age as prescribed by the IRS regulations when determining whether an account is reportable. Related accounts with activity initiated by the customer, such as checking or savings of the same customer, can activate customer contact for a time deposit, although the time deposit account may not be reportable at the same time as the related account due to its specific terms. The Office of Unclaimed Funds recommends that owners of dormant time deposit accounts be contacted to reactivate the account if they have checking or savings activity within the banking institution. The abandoned property law reporting cycle would be the June 30th cutoff date with a report due date of November 10th. When tracking the dormancy of time deposit accounts, remember, if contact is made or customer-generated activity occurs, the dormancy period begins again. Use the first maturity date to track dormancy, not the purchase date. Remember to complete due diligence, which should be completed after the cutoff date for reporting has been reached, but prior to reporting. Check out our e-learning video on the due diligence process for more information. Let's look at some examples of tracking the dormancy of time deposit accounts. In example number 1, the time deposit was purchased on February 14th, 2014, has a 12-month term, and automatically rolls over. The first maturity date under the terms would be February 14th, 2015, and in the absence of customer-generated activity, the dormancy date would be February 14th, 2018. No action is needed on the second or third maturity dates because the dormancy period has not been reached. On the fourth maturity date, the dormancy period is reached and automatic renewal should be stopped. The abandoned property law reporting cycle would be the June 30th, 2018 cutoff date, with a report due date of November 10th, 2018. Due diligence can begin once the cutoff date has been reached. In example number 2, the time deposit was purchased on February 14th, 2014, has a 24-month or 2-year term, and automatically rolls over. The first maturity date under the terms would be February 14th, 2016, and in the absence of customer-generated activity, the dormancy date would be February 14th, 2019. No action is needed on the second maturity date. Notice, since the dormancy date falls in the middle of a term cycle, no action is required until the third maturity date of February 14th, 2020, in which automatic renewal should be stopped in the absence of customer-generated activity. Let's look at one last example where the time deposit was purchased on February 14th, 2014, with a 60-month term and automatically rolls over. The first maturity date in this example is February 14th, 2019, making the dormancy date February 14th, 2022. Since the dormancy date is in the middle of the term cycle, stop automatic renewal when the term completes on February 14th, 2024. The report cycle would be for the June 30th, 2024 cutoff date, with a report due on November 10th, 2024. And now some final notes on time deposit accounts. Maintain records of the original issue date and the maturity date in order to make sure you are correctly tracking the dormancy date and reporting in the correct reporting cycle. Additional information can be found in the Handbook for Banking Institutions, along with the calendar of events and property type tables. We hope that you found this presentation informative and beneficial. If you have any further questions regarding how to complete your report of unclaimed funds, please contact our reports processing unit.